Hi everybody, it's Thursday and we are here doing a demo tonight. I'm taking the night off, having a little fun, and I'm leaving you in the capable hands of Diane Eberly, who you all, I'm sure, recognize as one of our favorite customer service employees.
Oh.
We did a cream horn demo a few weeks ago. That was really fun. Coming up, next week, we have Susan Horowitz from Beth Israel Congregation, and she's going to be making for Passover chocolate caramel matzah toffee, which is enough to make me want to convert to Judaism. It sounds awesome, and it's going to be really, really fun. Susan is one of our most popular demoers, and she is very colorful and really fun, and so please join us for that. It's going to be really great. And then the next week, the 28th, I'm going to be making vareniki or something, not sure how to pronounce it, which are Ukrainian pierogies. And we are doing that because the day after, Friday the 29th, Saturday the 30th, and Sunday the 1st, we're having a weekend to benefit Ukraine, and we're going to donate 10% of our sales for those 3 days to help Ukraine. United Help Ukraine. I'm sorry. I am going to get that right next time. And anyway, they do a lot of really wonderful humanitarian aid stuff for Ukraine during the war here, helping wounded soldiers, families of soldiers that have been killed, and providing a lot of medical services and stuff like that. So we're really excited to be doing this for them and donating hopefully a big chunk of money. So please come shopping that weekend if there's anything you need. And I think that's it. And you are going to make us Portuguese?
I'm going to make Portuguese kale soup, which has been a favorite of my family for years and years. And along with that, I'm making cornbread.
Excellent.
Not just a regular cornbread. This cornbread has a little bit of everything in it. So.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to leave you to it.
Yes.
You are in capable hands, folks, and have a wonderful night, Diane. And I will see you guys next week.
Yes. Bye, Louisa. This recipe comes from one of my favorite cookbooks, the Victory Garden Cookbook. It was a PBS series back in the 80s, the Victory Garden. And from the Victory Garden series, the Victory Garden Cookbook came about. Marian Morash is the cook. It is the Victory Garden, by the way. The title comes from World War II, when everything was rationed off. People were gardening, making their own little gardens and supplying neighbors or whatever. So that's where Victory Garden comes in. This book is set up like an encyclopedia of vegetables. It doesn't have every vegetable in it because it's more for the home gardener. But she tells you how to choose vegetables from the farm stand. She tells you how to preserve them, how to store them, and then about 6 or 7 different ways on how to use the vegetables in recipes. So I'm sorry to tell you that it's out of print, first of all. You might be able to find it on a used book site, but again, this is one of my favorite books to use for vegetables. The first thing we're going to do, however, is not in that book. It is a cornbread recipe that I've used with my family for years and years. I have adult children, and they still, every time they come home, want me to make the cornbread. It has a cup of all-purpose flour. It has 3/4 cup of oatmeal. I use Bob Red Mill just because I like it. You can use any cornmeal you want, but I like this particular one. And then it calls for 1/4 cup of sugar and a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt and a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. The recipe is going to be on our website. So these are the dry ingredients. Now for the wet ingredients, it calls for 1 egg. It calls for a cup of sour cream. It calls for a 1/2 cup of butter. Okay, so I didn't say this was low-cal, anybody? And then It calls for a cup of cheddar cheese, and I used our wonderful cheddar cheese that we sell here. And by the way, this is this OXO container, which I really, really like. So when you're grating or slicing, it comes with 4 different attachments. So when you're grating or slicing, you have this wonderful little container that it falls in, and it also measures. It tells you if it's a 1 cup or a 2 cup, and then everything just stores very nicely back into it. I don't personally have one of these, but I may have to purchase one. So it comes from, this is a cup of the cheddar cheese. We're going to just slightly mix this up. Oh, I can smell that cheddar cheese. And when this is nicely mixed, I'm going to start adding the dry ingredients. And you don't need a mixer with this at all. This is just hand done. You really want to make sure that the flour is completely coated. It does not, this is such an easy recipe, and it doesn't take any time at all. And whenever I've served it to guests, they beg me for the recipe. It's not a secret recipe at all. So, all right, and then you can do muffins. You can put it in a 12-tin muffin. I think it's better in a pan, so you can serve squares, large squares or small squares. And then I'm just going to dump it. And this is a greased, I think this is an 8-inch square pan. Pat it in there. This does not take a lot of tender loving care, believe me. And it doesn't have to be smooth. There. And miracle of TV, this is preheated to 375. Yes, 325, sorry. I'm going to put it in. I'm going to use our wonderful little timer and cook it for 20 minutes. Okay, there. So in the meantime, we'll do the soup. And I've done a lot of the cutting and preparing. So the soup, here we are. It calls for a pound of potatoes. It calls for a half a cup, I think, of chopped carrots. You can see that I have more carrots than that. It calls for a cup of chopped onions. And again, let me show you this wonderful. I cry every time I peel onions, by the way. So I have to do it very quickly. I've already done most of it. I'm going to take this little chunk and ta-da! And look, it's all saved up in this little container that I don't have to cry about. Okay, so there's the onions, and then it calls for a pound of kale, and I'll show you how to strip the kale in a minute. The garlic, again, if you don't have one of these little garlic twisters, this is my favorite. In fact, I put it in my adult children's Easter basket this year. So it can take 3 or 4, 5 or 6 cloves of garlic, and I'm just going to start by twisting it. And I'll twist it as much as I want it to mince. And when I'm finished, I want to just clean. And so I'm going to stop on the cross. And look, and then, oops, there. This is it. I'm going to dump it in my pan when I'm ready. Goes right in your dishwasher. It is so easy. You don't have to like poke little holes through that garlic press that you used to use. It's great. Chicken broth. And by the way, I know this takes a little more work, but if you use a lot of chicken broth, I highly recommend Better Than Bouillon brand. They have beef, they have chicken, they have lobster. It's much, I think it's tastier than like the liquid stuff. 1 teaspoon of this makes 1 cup, so it's very easy to do. And then a can of tomatoes. You can use your own tomatoes if you want, but I like the San Marzano ones. and then kidney beans, a can of kidney. You could do fresh kidney beans. I don't. Fresh salt and pepper, and I think that's it. Oh, and most important part, the chorizo. This is the chorizo we sell here at Now You're Cooking. It is the real deal. It's from Spain. It has this beautiful color. It is absolutely gorgeous. You can eat it straight out of the bag. It does not have to be cooked. It's absolutely delicious. If you've never had the real chorizo, come by and visit us. All right, so we've washed the kale, and now I'm going to strip it for you. Louisa showed me this trick. She goes like, she strips the leaves. Okay, Louisa. She was so good about it. Oh, like that. Okay. I have all these years taken a knife and gently cut the vein out. Okay, this is not as easy as she pretended it was. I might have to go back to my old routine. I think I'm doing something wrong here. But anyway, I'm taking the large vein out because it's just very fibrous and you really don't need that. And this is how I typically would do it, but I think Louisa led me astray. I really do. There. You know, I was really worried that we would have like one of the freak days and it would be like 90 degrees out and would not be soup weather. But this is a perfect day for Portuguese kale soup. So, and again, I'm not a real fan of kale. Like, I don't drink kale. I don't eat kale. But I've been doing this for years. This is about the only way that I like kale. Sorry for all you kale growers. I'm just not into kale. I apparently don't massage it enough or whatever, and then here's this one. And this had been washed before, by the way. So it says to wash your kale and de-stem it. Okay, that looks good. Yeah. And I just happen to have my handy dandy garbage to garden can. And I'll throw all this in. All right, and then I've cut up my potatoes, my pounded potatoes. I've cut up my carrots. I have my garlic. So I'm going to start with, okay. In a large saucepan. This is my large saucepan, Le Creuset large saucepan. What is it? Is it a 8 quart? 8 quart.
$2.99.
Yes, it's on sale right this minute for $2.99. All right. Saute onions, carrots, and garlic, and the olive oil and butter. Okay. Yeah, and no, I'm not measuring this. I'm just dumping it in. And my butter. Sorry, can I walk this far? We'll see. Okay. If you can't tell, I'm wired up here, so we have to be a little careful. All right. And we'll just let that heat up and melt a little bit. This is a beautiful, beautiful pot. I don't have one this large. I have the round one, but this is gorgeous. It's so nice to do cooking here at Now You're Cooking because they have everything. And now that I've been working here for 4 years, I think I have everything. My husband's really not convinced that I actually come to work because he's not seen a paycheck come home at all. All right, so here are the here's the garlic. I'm just going to dump that in. Very easy. And like I said, this can go right into your dishwasher. It's as easy as that. I'll take the there. And then the onions. This is is very, very sharp, by the way, so you have to be really, really careful. And there we go. Look at that. Presto. And again, easy to clean up. And my carrots, correct? Yes. And I'm just going to let this saute. Where's my... Oh, it's over here. Okay, I'm walking. And this should, 5-10 minutes. Just saute nicely. I'm sorry you can't smell this. It's quite nice. All right, then in the meantime, I've done my kale. I want to break it up into smaller pieces. And again, I'm not massaging it. It's just going to go right into the broth. This looks like a lot, but as you know, just like spinach, it cooks down.
How much kale is that?
This is a pound of kale. A pound of kale goes a long way. And I never use the scales at the stores. I'm weighing the kale, I'm weighing the potatoes. Whoa. There we go. All right, and now the chorizo. We're going to cut on a diagonal. And I wouldn't do huge chunks of this. I would do it. It's very, very, very flavorful, so. Look at this. Look at how beautiful that is. Comes right from Spain. This is a Spanish product. No American pigs were harmed in the making of these. Oh yes, and paella. Mike should do a paella thing, should he? Yes.
Yeah.
And
We should have to make him do another one.
yeah, this for the season. Yeah.
He also sells paella rice.
Which is a big difference. Yeah, I've tried to do it without the paella rice. I'm sure some people are very successful with it. I was not. And the ingredient that I could not find anywhere for paella, I don't know why you're talking about paella right now, but Pernod was the alcohol you're supposed to use in paella. So, okay, this is coming along very, very nicely here. Cooking, drain the potatoes and add along with the broth. Okay, so the potatoes have been sitting in cold water, and I'm just going to drain them. Usually I would go over to the sink and do that, but I'm tied to a cord, so I can't move.
I can follow you. Just pre-washing that dish.
That's right. Exactly. I'm going to add the potatoes, and I'm going to add the chicken broth to it. Now I want to show you the difference. This broth was from Better Than Bouillon. Look at that beautiful color. This broth was from a box, the box that you buy in the store. So I just wanted to show you the difference. And I need 2 quarts of this broth. Again, this is a wonderful measuring cup, OXO. Easy to use, it's nice to hold on to, cleans beautifully. All right, now I'm going to simmer this for 10 or 15 minutes. I wish we had the ability to speed this up, but bear with me, we don't. Okay, here, I put on as high as I can with a cover. There you go. Do you know any jokes, Heather?
No.
Oh, okay. You know.
Joke the wine.
Oh, yes, yes, thank you. So we also have Portuguese wine in stock. These are just 3 of the bottles. We have many, many more. Beautiful reds and
Albarino.
yeah, beautiful. And nicely priced, so you can afford to drink several bottles with your with your Portuguese soup. So, all right. Anything else that we can mention?
No, you can just keep going now.
Okay. All right. Okay, we have about 10 more minutes.
Should
Yep.
we look at it?
Sure. Okay. Settling in quite nicely. All right, then the next step, this is going to, the potatoes basically are going to cook for 15 or 20 minutes. And then she suggests that you mash the potatoes against the side of the pot. Sometimes I do, but I cut the potatoes up in really small little sections. So, it's a step that you could actually, I think it's to thicken it is what she does. And then after, all we're going to do is add the tomato, the kidney beans, and then we're going to add the kale and the sausages. It's again, it's some prep you have to cut. I did ask one of my fellow workers if she would be my sous chef this evening, Kelly, if you're watching, and she refused to do that. So I had to come in early and do all the cutting, but that's okay.
She's camera shy.
Yeah, right. We'll get her one of these days. All right. I don't know what else to do.
Pretend that it's done.
Yes, we're going to pretend is it. Yes. Thank you. So the potatoes are nicely cooked, and we're going to add the San Marzano tomatoes. And what I do is, as it's coming out, I kind of crush them by hand. They're whole tomatoes. They're whole peeled tomatoes. And
You just get those at Shaw?
yeah, actually, brackets. Yeah. Did I tell you I grew them this summer? They were unbelievable. I made tomato, not paste, but tomato sauce all summer long, and I kept giving it away. I had so many tomatoes. They were beautiful, beautiful. It was a good summer for tomatoes. Okay, so here are the tomatoes, and then I'm going to put in the kidney beans. This is our local IGA store, brackets. You don't have to drain them. You just put them right in. And give it a stir. And then this would cook another 5 or 10 minutes. But in the meantime, we'll give it just a few minutes. We're really rushing this along, but stir in the tomatoes, kidney beans, simmer, and then we're going to add the kale and the chorizo. And once you do that, it just has to simmer for like 5 minutes or so, or 10 minutes to get the kale done. So how close are we? We have 5 minutes left on our cornbread. So we could go ahead and put the kale in. Oh, it smells so delicious. Again, we're rushing this. You would let it simmer a little longer. Look at this beautiful kale. There. I should have put the sausage in first, but yeah. There we go. And then I'm going to stir it. There we go. Are you working tomorrow, Heather?
I am.
Okay.
Here.
Don't bring lunch.
Yeah. I don't know if people can hear me, but do you want to mention that we're closed on Sunday?
Thank you. Because it's Easter Sunday, we are going to be closed this Sunday so that we all can be with our families. cooking them delicious meals, I'm sure. All right, this is just going to cook down. There we go. I'm going to cover. There we go. Oh, yes, we're closed Easter, and we have still, we have lots of wonderful candy for Easter it's Cadbury from England, so it's a whole different chocolate than what you would find here. We have quite a bit. We have these wonderful boxes. We have the bunny rabbits. We have the cream eggs. So stop by and pick up some Easter egg supply. It's supposed to be a nice day, by the way, on Easter Sunday. So everyone will be out hunting their eggs. Yeah. All right. I wish you had questions that I could answer, but you don't. But if you do have questions, you can email us or text us about this. And where will this be shown later after tonight, Heather?
It will be on Facebook.
Facebook, okay.
And then we put it on our YouTube page.
Yep.
And I'll post the recipe after we're done.
Okay, okay. And can they access it by going to our website?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, okay, that's what I
I
thought.
post the video with the recipe. After.
Okay, perfect. And then Louisa said she's doing, we're doing the matzo, yeah, for Passover.
Yep. And we also have Passover.
And Passover wine, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Which has been very popular. People have been coming in for it. Okay, let me see. Where's the light? Light, 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 light. Timer, light. Okay. Yes! Yay! Ooh, that looks so nice. I'm just going to give it a few more minutes. Okay, would you like to? Okay.
So we can post a video of the finished stuff so you don't have to.
Okay, all right. Okay, look how beautiful this is. This is just absolutely gorgeous. And it's just filled with, your root vegetables and this beautiful kale. It's easy to do. Like I said, there's some prep work in it. But really, it's so satisfying. And I've actually frozen this also. And it heats up, it defrosts and heats up quite nicely. So, let me pull out the cornbread just so you can see. In the drawer. Hot mitts. See, it said hot mitts right there, you guys. All right. It's probably not quite done, but I just wanted to show you the beautiful color. There you go. Okay. Heather, does it not smell delicious?
For lunch.
Oh, there it is. You know what? I'm just gonna leave it in just for a few more minutes. But if you were here, I would certainly offer you a piece of cornbread. I think that's it. If you have any questions, like I said, text us. The recipe is online, and I do hope you make it. Enjoy kale. This is the only way I enjoy kale. So, yeah. All right. Thank you so much.